Hey, go. Oh, that's a hit. I sent the blitz. They talking shit and get hit next shit. We gotta win, so I'm trying to get in. We taking over, just me and the men. Y'all not balling, y'all wanna be us. I'm in my bag, I feel dangerous. What it do, Bankroll Mafia? I'm back with another episode of Denver Broncos Franchise, and the regular season is over for me, guys. We didn't make it to the playoffs. We had the decision to try to tank or win a few more games to get a higher draft pick. But as we see, the league was dominated by a couple of the more familiar teams, the teams you usually see in the playoffs, IRL, or, on a Madden-based franchise. So, yeah, guys, the Commanders made it, Cardinals made it, and you would think that their roster was a little bit ass cheeks. As it comes down to draft picks as the worst teams, we found ourselves at the number 8 spot. So that last win in week 18 didn't really affect us too much. Of course, it would have been great to lose and be in the 5-12 range with those other teams right there, having a better chance to probably get the number 3 or number 4 overall pick. But hey, man, it's a life. I'm just glad that year one of this struggle bug ass season is over with. As we look at the leaders of the league, and Pat Surtain, Damari Mathis, both leading the league in INTs. Pat Surtain with 10, Damari with 9, and then under that third person we got Justin Simmons with 6. Let's go ahead and look at the stats for the season. Man, Malik Willis played 13 games, while Russ played 8. And honestly, if you combine their stats together, it still would be a shitty season. Only 27 total touchdowns with about 40 INTs, averaging about 3,800 passing yards. That's no bueno, man. So I'm definitely thinking that the offensive board here, we're going to go ahead and clear house. We're going to try to look for a new offensive coordinator. Malik Willis almost had 1,000 yards rushing. Almost had 10 TDs this season. But Javonte came in week 4, week 5? Maybe later than that. Came and showed the fuck out. Marvin Mims Jr. definitely did his thing as a rookie. 7 TDs. He's tied with Jerry Jeudy, who had a lower season as far as receiving yard production, but he still tied up with TDs. His presence was felt. And Greg Dolch had the second most amount of receiving yards, but only 4 TDs in the season this year. So it's a lot we got to improve on. KJ Hamler, as I mentioned before, he will be leaving the team due to health reasons. Like in real life, we're going to stick to that story and let him go ahead and go. Not going to re-sign him, so that'll be that. But yeah, man, we got to improve on a lot of things this offseason. And like I said, cap space is definitely our kryptonite right now, thanks to Russell Wilson. So we're going to have to clear house, find a new offensive coordinator to get this offense going in a better direction. Defensively, we want to probably find some better pass rushers. Because if you look at it, only our linebackers are the ones getting production in the pass rush game. Got Alex Singleton, Baron Brown, and Ty for 11. Drew Sanders, another linebacker and a rookie, with 9. Leo Szn1 with 7. He came later in the season. Randy Gregory with 9. It's like we got players that can have potential, but not in the right aspect. Why do we only have our top 2 leading sack players with 5 sacks? That is terrible, man. We don't even have probably over, say, 25 sacks this season as a team. But when it comes to interceptions, I'm sure we led the league. Just look at the numbers, man. Carlton Davis came, 3 INTs. J.L. Skinner, my boy from Seattle. Well, from the Seattle franchise, of course. 2 INTs on the season. And then DTY balled out too. Deflections, It's a stat that they don't really show when you playing the game. They just go ahead and show it right here. But still a key factor. And forced fumbles, we only forced about 4 of them jumps. Only recovered probably 4 of them. So, and when it comes to block field goals or punts, 0. TD totals. Got 5 TDs in the season, about 35 points from the defense total. So we're going to go ahead and look at the awards, the weekly awards, to see how we fared during the weekend. Where did we land? How many awards did we get? We got 1. We got 2. We got 3. Got a double whammy in that week. Got Oh, 5. Week 11, another double whammy. And that's looking. Oh, got 6. 6 total player of the weeks. A few on defense, a few on offense. That's something, you know what I'm saying, look at too. Let's look at how the team did overall in the league. Number 3, as far as total yards. Number 3, as far as passing yards, which is crazy to think that we was passing the ball that much. Oh, we're not number 3 in passing yards, my mistake. Number 1 in rushing, which is also a surprise. But then again, we got almost 2,000-yard rushers. Malik Willis was just shy away from the 1,000-yard mark, and then Javonte was well over. So, points, passing touchdowns. Oh, man. Down the bottom of the barrel, 27 passing touchdowns total. Rushing touchdowns. Go ahead and keep moving. Okay, 25, not that bad. First downs. We was number 2 in the league in first downs. I'm surprised. I feel like there been a lot of chances, a lot of times that I was going for it on 4th down or had a chance on 3rd down to make a play, and we just didn't make it. But there's room to grow. We're number 1 in total points allowed, total yards allowed, total passing yards allowed, number 3 in total rushing yards allowed. Oh my goodness, this defense is ass cheeks. Number 1 in points allowed. Bro, what the fuck is going on? For sacks, let's keep going. We're not number 1. We're not number 1. We got the least amount like shit. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. We have to step up on all fronts next season. Fumbles, we only have about 4 of those jumps. A lot of teams only have 4, so I'm cool with that. INTs, we led the league with a whopping 36, well over any other team in the league. So we got a good cushion on INTs this season. Now let's look at this playoff picture, man. I told y'all before, let me know who y'all think going to win the playoffs, the Super Bowl, my bad. Who's going to make it? And who will be the team that will be victorious this season, holding that Lombardi at the end of the season? And we're going to go ahead and advance through the weeks and get straight back to the playoff picture so we can get to this offseason. We'll stop at the Pro Bowl, see if we got some players on the roster or not. And as we look at the divisional round, we have the Chiefs versus the Raiders, a divisional matchup. Washington versus the Commanders, another divisional matchup. Ravens and Bills should be a good game. Falcons and the Packers should also be an interesting game with Bijan over there, Jordan Love leading the Packers. So, hey, I mean, a wild card weekend was an interesting week. Bills were pretty dominant over their opponent. As we go ahead and advance one more time, and now we have the conference championship. We'll see the Chiefs and the Ravens, Lamar and Mahomes, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys against Jordan Love and the Packers. But the Packers have been playing very well so far. Wild card weekend 49-20, divisional round week 28-7. Now up against the defense, the Madden's best team on franchise mode, the Dallas Cowboys. So we'll see what happens in that game. And the verdict is in. The Green Bay Packers go all the way, climbing over top of the Cowboys as the Ravens barely get past the Kansas City Chiefs, knocking Mahomes off of his throne. Lamar Jackson finally getting the respect that he deserves, the chance to etch his name into history, aside from being a great fucking quarterback that can run the ball and make amazing plays and making people miss. He has a chance to get a ring on his finger, along with his rookie receiver, Zay Flowers, his veteran swaggerific receiver and OBJ and company. You feel me? I know Mahomes and them boys are a little bit upset about that. Back to the drawing board it is for them. But they won last season, so I mean, hey, take a year off, get back to it next season. That's the way I look at this Cowboys and Packers game. This game was explosive. Green Bay scored in every quarter. Dallas did not score in the first quarter, but hey, J Love, no INTs this game. 4 tutties with help from Aaron Jones himself. A.J. Dillon on the ground to help keep the chains moving, I assume. Jaden Reed, the rookie, I just got him in my fantasy league on the NFL app, man, because I seen he been doing some good shit. And the receivers I got this year, I was unlucky because it's 16 people in my fantasy league this year. So I wasn't able to get the players that I want. I got 0 stellar players. All I got is Chris Boswell. Got no George Pickens. I'm glad I got Najee Harris now because, his production is, lackluster. But the Steelers defense, I would have loved to have last week. That would have been a great pickup to get some fucking points. But anyways, back on topic. The Packers against the Ravens. Who y'all got, man? Is it Baltimore or is it Green Bay? We'll look at this Pro Bowl roster to see if we got any players that landed on the list to represent the AFC this year. I love seeing George Pickens lead the way for the AFC. That goes to show in simulation he's still balled out and is getting the ball how he deserves. Kadarius Toney, maybe he catches the ball more in Madden. Hey, I'm only watching the AFC side for real. So if you see anybody on the left-hand side that you fuck with as a player or anything, just, you know what I'm saying, comment down below. But a lot of good players right here. It's going to be an interesting Pro Bowl. I'm not going to play it this year. Yeah. Von Miller, the former Bronco, is up there. T.J. Watt, I love to see it. And we're kind of empty on players right now unless I miss somebody. But here we go. Pat Surtain should be over Kenny Moore. Get the fuck out of here. It should be Pat Surtain, Damari Mathis, and Justin Simmons as like, okay, Justin Simmons there. But Damari Mathis definitely should have been there. Like, what the hell? So no rookie makes the Pro Bowl for me. Only my two defensive stars, Damari Mathis, Justin Simmons, and PS2. And that'd be it, man, for just that right there. We're going to go ahead and look at the yearly awards. See if we got any players that got a fucking award this year. I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, that we got some of our rookies, some of our younger players an award. I know it's a guaranteed dev upgrade. So, Lamar Jackson, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to C.J. Mosley for the AFC. Pat Surtain was number 4 on the list, so he was close. Marvin Mims Jr., Eminem Jr. gets Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's fucking go. And I love to see Joey Porter Jr. win Defensive Rookie of the Year. That is tough. Drew Sanders was right there. Down the line, we had J.L. Skinner as well. So that was a good bump right there. That's a great bump right there. I keep referring to Damari Mathis as a fucking rookie when he's not, so my bad about that. GP, number 2. Marvin Mims, number 5 for best receiver. Best O-line, we have nada. Best D-line, we have nada. Not a damn thing. Best linebacker, nada. But best DB, Pat Surtain, followed by Damari Mathis, and one person under Kenny Moore, Justin Simmons, which is why Pat Surtain and Damari Mathis should have been in the Pro Bowl together, not just by himself. We'll go ahead and look at the NFC side as well. It's Bijan Robinson and Brian Branch are the two offensive and defensive rookies for the NFC side. Dak Prescott, best QB. TP, best running back. CD, best wide receiver. It's the Dallas Cowboys takeover. It's the best offensive lineman goes to Zach Martin. And then we see Aaron Donald, as always. Rashawn Gary. My man Mike used Rashawn Gary one time. We had a franchise. He made him look like TJ, Bosa, Garrett, Donald. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? Why have I never heard of him? Oh, man. Pat Surtain. Almost at the 99 club, man. Almost about to be well-deserved of those golden cleats. Marvin Mims is now a superstar, I believe. Yeah, superstar. See the little bit of the little tab right there. I know what that mean. Eminem. Yes, sir. Superstar for my boy Eminem. Retirement's coming soon. After we look at the actual season recap to see who really was what. And yes, indeed, Marvin Mims Jr. was the official Offensive Rookie of the Year over both conferences. So that's great. And Brian Branch was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hell of a season, guys. Hell of a season. Cameron Hayward leaves the league, man. He's gone. Still going to have to find a replacement for him. A couple other guys are retiring right now. We had Kareem Jackson too on our team. Harrison Smith is now leaving. DeMario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Adam Thielen, Calais Campbell, Jason Kelsey, Brandon Graham, Bobby Wagner, Matthew Stafford. The Rams are in need of a new quarterback. That is highly interesting. That will definitely pique my interest in the draft. Now I have to watch my back. I'm going to keep Clyde Holland because somehow, some way, our defense got INTs. But Jeff Powell will be now out the building, And to fill his spot, we looked and seen we had the opportunity to bring Sean Payton, IRL, from head coach to offensive coordinator under head coach Bankroll Beasley. Or we could have got the former Lions head coach, Dan Campbell. But instead, those are two good options. And they already come with some traits already built in. But I was looking for like a chance to get a lot of skill points, which I already have my skill points from firing my head coach, but we still get more from hiring. So we went ahead and got Nick Gregory, a familiar face from Seattle Seahawks franchise. And he's here to help bolster this offense in the positive direction, moving the sticks, less turnovers, and a guy that we think can help develop our young QB as in Malik Willis, or potentially, let's see, on this mock draft. There's a lot of good players right here in mock draft number 3. And they have projected to pick Nazir Rowland. We'll check him out real quick to see how good this guy is. And he looks like he can be a great player. Good to great speed. B. A lot of B's I see. Jason Payne looks good too. I was scouting him. And I'll show you all my favorites. Darrell Ratliff as well. A guy I'm looking into. Good to great speed. 6'3", 6'4" at cornerback. You know I love my tall players, man. I can't get enough of them. DJ Peak is a tackle I'm looking at as well. It's a lot of good tackles, but considering the fact that I might move down, if I don't see somebody that I really want to pull at 8, to also build back into the draft as far as getting draft value. Enrique Cross. Don't sleep on Enrique Cross. This guy might be better than my man, Darrell Ratliff. And the only reason why I think that is because I've been seeing his name a lot on the fucking little, the storylines. Frank Locke, another good-looking left tackle. This draft was definitely a tackle-heavy draft, along with defensive end. A lot of good ends in this draft, but this is the guy that we think might be able to come and add to this fucking offense in a positive way. Look at his accuracies. Malik Willis has the legs. He can run the ball. But Jeremy Carter, out of Oregon, looks like he can be the guy who can throw the ball how I need the ball to be thrown. It's too many times where I'm overthrowing wide open wide receivers. I'm underthrowing good routes. It's all just a panic. Man. So, moving on to the re-sign stage of this at the end of 2023 season, Pat Surtain, of course, gets his option. We'll give Lloyd Cushenberry a fucking extension. He accepts that offer. And the brother of Marvin Mims Jr., who got to the roster a little bit later in the season, didn't really get that much of a spotlight. Marvin Mims Jr. would now be accompanied by his bigger brother, Denzel Mims, who is now re-signed to the Broncos roster. Looking at my favorites list right here, I can't speak too much more about Jeremy Carter. I just look at this guy and I know his speed is marginal. Understandable. But if I can stay in the pocket and get this offensive line built up, we can probably have us a Peyton Manning on our hands. Now, this is another Malik Willis prototype. Or is it this guy? No, it's definitely not this guy. It's definitely ain't Len Blade. So it's the other guy, McDowell. We're looking at the halfbacks. DeMarco Quinn can be one of those backs that are one of the backs who goes earlier in the draft. Second fastest running back in the draft. Julius Hampton is a guy we think we can get. You know what I'm saying? Mid-second, early third. Some nice little power backs right here that we can use to be the thunder to Javonte Williams' lightning. So, some little quick scouting, man. We're not really too sold on anybody yet. Running back isn't a position we really need. We can get a backup in free agency after the draft. But this guy right here, 6'5". He runs a 4.3. Elite speed. Deion Dale. How can we possibly let him go? George Nelson, not George Pickens, I know, I wish. Travis Casey, another one of those receivers that I feel like will be better than what we're picturing him as. 4.34. He's slower than Deion Dale, but maybe better in the route running department. Then 4.35 for Ladarius Applewhite. Those are the guys that we have our eyes on as far as wide receivers. And if we need a backup tight end, which we do, because we don't have Albert O or Adam Troutman no more, these are the two guys we think can fill in those spots. Day 3 prospects that we think can just come into the roster and just add that depth that we need to see if they can back up Greg Dulcich. Left end Juan Pemberton looks like he's going to be a fucking dog. Luke Foster like he can be a dog as well. But Juan looks like he's going to be a fucking dog, like off rip. For the right end department, we have a lot of right ends. Because, like I said, this draft was right end heavy, offensive tackle heavy. Zach Freeman looks good as well. All of these guys look like they have potential to be a starting end on this roster and other rosters around the league as well for shit show. So we're really hoping to land one of these guys. It's just about the fact that we only have one first-round pick. But we're still planning our draft philosophy as we speak, as we're looking at the scouting, looking at these players. It's going to be interesting. And the outside linebackers, we got 2 day 3 players right here that we think we can snag that can be added depth to this roster, even though I truly do believe that we do have a okay linebacking core, outside and inside. A couple players may be getting a little bit older, but this guy right here, Randy Glover, is the only one I would pull the trigger on. He looks good. But we have Drew Sanders. We have Alex Singleton. We have Leo Chenal. You know what I'm saying? We have Baron Brown, and we have Nick Bonito. We got players, man. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as the linebacker core. So that's another position we're not really that pressed on or sold on, just like running backs. But we do need another wide receiver. We do. That was something we don't really need. We can develop Malik Willis maybe. But if we can get Jeremy Carter, man, I can't tell you confidently that I will pass up on him. And the 3 corners we have our eyes on, and I think personally these are the 3 best. Mr. Ratliff from West Virginia, Enrique Cross from UCF. USC, my mistake. And then we got Terrell Walker, 4.33, second or third round pick. We might could snag him over Ratliff. And the only safety we think can join this team and help out is Dimitri Felix. And I'm not sold on safety either. Like I said, we have J.L. Skinner, we got Justin Simmons, Caden Stearns. We're pretty set as we'll go ahead and look at who's available this year in free agency before we start diving into it. We'll check our roster out, of course, one more time to see the position needs and the holes we got to fill. It's a couple of good names, but a couple of these guys are aging, so it's like, why pull the trigger on any of these guys this high? I also do want to target people that's interested in us, and Noah Fant. Noah Fant can be the solution to our tight end problems, eliminating us from having to draft anybody in that department. Not saying any wide receivers that I really want to add to the. Okay, Damian Lewis. Possibly. AJ Dillon as a backup. Well, he probably he'll be a backup over under Javonte. There's a lot of good players that I think definitely can, like, you know what I'm saying, get their names into the media. Cesar Ruiz, definitely a player I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't know, guys. There's a lot of Nika Nwakwe. Yes, there's a lot of good ends in this draft, and KJ Hamler's right there. I hope nobody signs him, not in that kind of way, but just to keep the story real, that he's taking time off for his health. That would be a good thing. I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, knock his stats down, nothing like that. So, wide receivers, we only have 4. And Cortland Sutton could be a possible trade candidate to help us get some depth, to even make some moves for any of these players in free agency, because our our cap space is ass. So if we can get rid of some players that are aging or in like the last 2 years of their contract for some cap space to bring some other guys in that can help and contribute, we will. Seeing as though Szn1 didn't really do as much as we thought he would for us because he's not really the receiver that was targeting as much last season. The DB room is solid, so I don't think I will pull the trigger on Darrell Ratliff or any of those other cornerbacks that I've seen. And we're going to go ahead and send Cortland Sutton to the Lions, who have an ass receiving core. I think it's only Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown right now as far as I check. Lost a lot of guys to free agency. And we're going to go ahead and offer Noah Fant as our first free agent target, hoping to sign this tight end, bring him back to Denver. He was in Denver, then he went to Seattle. But the storyline we're trying to get is to bring him back. Trying to add Cesar Ruiz to the team. Trying to bring over Dorrance Armstrong. And we're going to go ahead and evaluate these offers. Continue to see what's going on. One guy's missing. I think Dorrance Armstrong. Yes, he is now a Denver Bronco. Now it's just up to Noah Fant and Caesar. He'll probably tweak his offer a little bit, give him a little bit more, make it a little more comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Butter him up a little bit more. We'll go ahead and eval that. Oh, he wants more, so we got to tweak that shit out a little bit more. Make that shit worth. I think this should be a little more solid. He should like this one over the other teams. We're still under for Noah Fant, but we're going to go ahead and evaluate it, hoping that we can get him, and we did. Trust the process. The cost was above us as far as the liking meter, but we went ahead and snagged him anyway, so that's amazing. Mock draft 4. Let's check it out. These mock drafts are so true to form, and the Saints are about to get Jeremy Carter at number 5. They got to take in DJ Peak at number 8. Oh, man. I can potentially get Darrell Ratliff, Randy Glover, Luke Foster, Cam Luck. Oh, my goodness. Those are the only guys that I would take. And we're going to go ahead and sign Cameron Dicker, the kicker, because we don't have one. Unique Ngakwe goes ahead and gets an offer from the Broncos. As we go ahead and look at the 5th mock draft, the 5th and final. The true to form mock draft, Dante Forbes, the best tackle going number 1. Luke Foster now moves up and he comes towards us. But we still can draft Jason Payne, Darrell Ratliff, and other players who we're seeing shift up and down the draft board. Not sure if it's based off team needs or based off these final little pro days and NFL days. So, hey, this free agency, welcome Noah Fant, Unique Ngakwe, Cesar Ruiz, Dorrance Armstrong, and Cameron Dicker, the kicker. Man, and we'll look at who else got signed and where they are. Baker Mayfield now is in LA again. I think Kirk Cousins was back in Minnesota. Tough. I like to see teams re-sign players that they let go, you know what I'm saying? Just like, fuck it, come back. It don't hurt me. Interesting, you know what I'm saying? So, wide receivers, the Lions and Vikings are the two teams that I'm seeing went shopping this year. They had their hands in a lot of fucking position pools. And that was a fucking San Francisco massacre right there. They just took away 3 players in that position. Okay. James Houston goes to Pittsburgh to replace Cameron Hayward. Too bad Justin Houston going to retire soon as well. So maybe Pittsburgh likes their older guys. Who knows? I mean, I'm a fan, so I should know. But I don't know what the hell be going through them coaches' head because I don't know why Matt Canada still is the offensive coordinator. If somebody don't hire Big Ben to be the offensive coordinator at this point, I think Ben could do better. I think AB and his CTE can lead this offense better than the fucking Matt Canada. Damn, we could have got Greedy Williams and C.J. Henderson. Damn, that sucks. Cause I would have loved to get both of those guys. When they first came into the league, I was like real sold on both of them, just based off their height, weight, speed, and stuff like that. And now we'll do these private workouts. Those are the 3 players we had. QB McDowell, left tackles Frank Locke and DJ Peak. And this will be the end of this episode, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll go ahead and look at the roster real quick before I head out. Next episode will be the draft and the off season. I won't give y'all every preseason game of the off season. I'll play it myself, and I'll let you all know how I'm feeling about the certain players and where they belong. Cause I'm so ready for the off season. For the regular season to start. I'm so behind right now. Got to catch up. What do you guys grade my free agency signings? How do y'all think we did? Where would the team go based off this free agency? Not based off the draft yet, but based off free agency. Where do you think we are on a scale of 1 through 10? Let me know. And as always, thank y'all for tuning into the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll have more videos dropping this week, man. I appreciate the support. We going up, man. Season 1, Season 2 dropping soon. Until next time, Bankroll Mafia, we out of this motherfucker.